Hello everybody, welcome to Tarot and the Star. I am your host, Melody. We will be doing another missing persons case today, Ghostplex reading, on Albert Lee Baker. Albert Lee Baker went missing on May 2nd, 1988. He was 34 years old. Situation with him, really bizarre. Okay, so it goes like this. His family dropped him off at Baker Hustoff Memorial Hospital on May 2nd, 1988, okay? Baker was believing, he's saying that he's having a heart attack or a stroke, okay? So that's why they took him to the hospital. And he was disorientated. When his wife came to the hospital to be with him, he was gone. And then, the nurses were saying that, he did sign in through a triage to be seen. They called his name and he wasn't there at the hospital. And he hasn't been heard from since. Now, his wife does report, she did report that he suffers from amnesia. In the past, he suffered from amnesia. He used to be a cement finisher at Leo's Concrete in Brevard County. So who knows? Who knows what happened to him? I mean, that's, he was never seen. And, he did say he was having a stroke. So let's find out. Spirit guides of Albert Lee Baker. He went missing on May 2nd, 1988 from Rockledge, Brevard County, Florida. Can you tell us what happened to Albert Lee Baker from the hospital? Spirit guides of Albert Lee Baker that went missing on May 2nd, 1988 from the hospital. Did Albert suffer from amnesia because of a stroke? Did Albert wander off from the hospital, or did somebody pick him up? Spirit guides of Albert Lee Baker. Can you tell us the first name of the person that picked him up from the hospital, if in fact somebody picked him up? Guides of Albert Lee Baker. Is Albert Lee Baker still alive today, or did he suffer from a heart attack and die? Spirit Guides of Albert Lee Baker. If Albert Lee Baker was not suffering from a heart attack, did somebody murder Albert Lee Baker? Spirit Guides of Albert Lee Baker. If Albert Lee Baker is no longer with us, where can we find his physical remains, please? Spirit Guides of Albert Lee Baker. Does Albert Lee Baker, if he is no longer with us, have any last messages for his wife, his friends, his loved ones? Thank you so much, Spirit Guides of Albert Lee Baker, for coming forward and providing us any clues as to the whereabouts of Albert Lee Baker or what happened to him. And if Albert Lee Baker, if you are no longer with us, thank you for coming forward to respond and provide some information as to your whereabouts. We are ending the session with the Spirit Guides of Albert Lee Baker and Albert Lee Baker if you're no longer with us. Thank you both and goodbye now. And for those of you still watching Tarot and the Star, it's complete bizarre because, imagine he went to the hospital to be seen because he was feeling like he was having a heart attack. And then he was missing from the hospital. I'm gonna edit this so we can see the clues, but it almost makes me feel as though somebody picked him up from the hospital. But why? Did he call them? Did they come to the hospital and say, you know, hey man, it's okay, you're not having a stroke, let's just, you know, hang out. And I mean, what would be the reason, you know? Or did he wander off? You know, he was not in the right state of mind, he was disorientated. Did he wander off? We'll find out, we'll get these clues. Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Tarot to the Star, and I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much. Bye now.